Today I want to have a little word with anyone here who love to put their heart and soul into their work. It might actually be counting against you because sometimes we put more effort in, we put more love in, but we don't see that translate into results. And it makes us feel confused, frustrated, and even resentful. And I don't want that for you. So let's talk about it today. Hi, I'm Ciara Ash. I'm a coach and RTT therapist, and I help people have more fulfilling lives and careers. So the people that I work with around their career or their business are generally people who want their work to be more than a way of making money. It's a way of making a difference in the world and hopefully expressing their creativity, their talents, and their values. That's really the ideal. That's where we want to get to in our careers. But sometimes that inclination we have to make a difference, to optimize the work that we do, can actually count against us. So how might this show up in your career? Well, if I think about one of my clients, Paula was someone who had a consulting business. And when she would work for her various clients, she would not only want to fulfill the task they had given her, but she would see all these ways in which that company could do even better, things they could be optimizing, things that they could be changing. Or she'd find that she would deliver her work, but then her work wouldn't be used in the most impactful way because of other structural issues in that company. She's someone who I see as an artist, a business artist, in fact. To be an artist in the workplace, in my definition, is really someone who has a vision for what they want the outcome of their work to be, who has a vision for the experience they want to be having while they do that work. You could be working with numbers and data, you could be working with people, you could be working in customer service. It doesn't actually matter what you do, but that desire to be an artist or to express ourselves through our work or do the best we can possibly do can sometimes count against us if we don't channel it in the right direction. And so what I noticed with Paula is that her natural tendencies and instincts to try and optimize and fix everything and really see the full potential of the businesses that she did consulting for, I could see that was starting to work against her because it was actually starting to lead her astray from the work that she had been commissioned to do. She can actually see all the possibilities to make the company, the whole ecosystem of that company better. That is an amazing quality to have, but it was leading to real frustration for her. It would mean that she would get demotivated by the tasks that she was doing. Sometimes she would start to tread on people's toes, trying to make suggestions that were falling on deaf ears. And it was actually leading her to feel burnt out. She was doing a lot of work, and yet she wasn't feeling appreciated, and it wasn't feeling sustainable. So the first thing we worked on is really identifying decoupling that was happening. What is the task I've been asked to do, or what is the task that I need to do? And then what is my fantasy artist vision about what is possible? And when these things start to decouple, when the tracks start to widen, that's really the danger zone. It could be that you're going to be putting more and more work in, trying to execute against this fantasy vision you have of what the work could be. And at the same time, it could be that you never actually complete the work that was set for you, or that you do, but it feels frustrating and unfulfilling and limited. The first thing that's helpful here is to really have a little reality check with yourself. Is the vision I have for this work, is the vision I have, the potential of this opportunity, is it the same as what's being asked for or what's being expected of me? And if it's not, I have some choices around that. So that's step one. Notice that there might be a discrepancy in what you could do or what you're capable of or what your vision is and what's actually being asked for. Just that reality check in itself can be really helpful in explaining why you're maybe not getting the traction or recognition that you would expect to get, given how big your level of ambition or vision is for this situation. The second question you can ask yourself is, do I actually know what's being asked of me? Or am I assuming that what is wanted here is the deluxe version of the project? But do I know what's being asked of me, and is that clear? If it is clear, how do I feel about it? Do I want to do this piece of work? Or do I feel that there's nothing meaningful to be done here? We need to fix this at a systemic level, or we need to take the real opportunity here, or we need to do something bigger. It might be that that gives you more peace, that you can do what's being asked of you and then channel your creative energies elsewhere into other projects. Or it could be that you feel really strongly that no, what I have to say, my vision, my understanding of this situation or opportunity is important and I want to share it. So how can you do that constructively? Well, I recommend doing it with consent, doing it overtly. So that might mean having a conversation with the people that you're working with. Hey, I'm seeing some opportunities here. I'm seeing some ways that we could do things differently that could be even more effective or could help us meet other objectives. Would you be interested in that? So just that step, just testing the waters and seeing, is there an openness, is there an appetite to hear this bigger vision that you have, can be really helpful in making sure that your energies are being directed into the place where they can have most impact. So if your priority right now is making sure that you're rewarded and recognized for what you do, if you feel like you've been under-recognized for too long, then I'd really encourage you to lean into looking what actually gets rewarded in your environment. So that's the approach that I took with my client Paula, is really doubling down on what was getting rewarded, what were people appreciating most about her work. There was a lot to appreciate, but what was valued most highly? Money talks, so what are they actually paying for? By focusing on that and only that, she was able to double her revenue in 9 months. This is a big leap, and that was made possible by focusing on what was actually wanted as opposed to what her vision was. That's really one of the takeaways I want to make sure you get from this. Do you know what's rewarded? If you are not feeling rewarded or recognized, are you crystal clear on what it takes to be rewarded and recognized in your environment? And if you are not, you need to find out. Otherwise, you have no control over the situation. But that might not be enough for you. You might say, you know what? It's not just about the money. My vision is the most important thing, or being true to my values is the most important thing. So again, we have to come back to the reality that in that case, you're an artist, and you might need to move to a space where you get to have more creative control over what you do. So if that's really your truth, that it really matters to you, the details matter to you, doing it your way matters to you, being able to live out the fullness of your vision matters to you, you might need to move to a space where that's more possible. It could be a different role, it could be a different company culture, it could be doing something on your own independently. That's something I've noticed in my own career, that one of the things I love about coaching is that it's the space where it's easiest for me to tell the truth. That was always so important to me in my career, and I didn't always work in spaces where it was encouraged, rewarded, desired to be honest and transparent. And so I had to move myself over time into a space where my work was all about that, was all about having honest, real conversations. So in the medium to long term, you might want to think about moving yourself into spaces where your artistry is valued. Maybe it's the whole point. Not being appreciated or not really fitting into the spaces that you're trying to conform to. Know that there's nothing wrong with you. It might just be that you're an artist. Being an artist carries a responsibility with it. One, that you give yourself that title, even if it's just to yourself, even if no one else knows that about you, even if your job doesn't look artistic on the outside. If you're someone who really cares about outcomes and details, those are all aspects of artistry. So if that's you, know that about yourself. Remind yourself of that when you're feeling those friction points in your career. And then the next part is taking responsibility. What do I want to do with that? If I'm an artist, it's my duty to create. So how can I put myself in spaces where I can create, whether it's outside of my work or in different environments, or whether it's over time moving yourself into environments where you get to have more creative control, where you get to express your ideas, your vision, and your values authentically. It could even mean that it's a project or a career or a business that you have to start yourself. But if you're an artist, it's your responsibility to find a space for your art. And if you'd like more inspiration, make sure that you like and subscribe this video to keep up to date with all the new things on this channel. Thanks a lot, and see you soon.